Hey, what's up, FMYC people? Just sending out another video to remind you about a couple things I wanted to remind you to bring, and then share a short devotional with you again. But this week, I also wanted to encourage you guys, just another thing you might not think about on the packing list, to bring some games on the bus. Small games, travel games, even a deck of cards or something like that. It's a long drive. 20 hours is a long time. And even though a good chunk of that, hopefully you'll be able to sleep on the bus, we wanted to encourage you guys to bring some games to play on the way there. We'll have some group games to play as well, but just to do that because on the bus ride to and from, some of the best memories are made. You'd think most of it happens at the conference itself, but there's a lot of conversations that happen on the bus ride to and from. A lot of strong memories are made there. So we want you guys not segregating yourselves on the bus ride. We actually tell you not to use headphones until lights go out. Because we want you guys interacting with each other and building friendships and relationships that'll last for a long time. So think about that. Think about some things you can bring on the bus. That's games that a group of people can play together, like catchphrase or categories or something like that. I know those are old school games, but just another thing to think about. And then also another highlight is just think about bringing a personal water bottle with you. You're going to be walking around a lot. It's going to be hot. The elevation is higher. We need to make sure you guys are staying hydrated. We're going to be buying a couple cases of water for the drive down, but bring your own personal water bottle. There's plenty of places on campus to fill them because it's a college campus. Everybody has water bottles. So make sure you bring that with you. One maybe that fits in a backpack or a purse you'll be carrying around or something like that, because it'll be really important to keep drinking water because us Michiganders aren't used to that elevation being closer to the sun and all that fun stuff. So think about that as we're getting ready to go. And parents, if you can encourage that as well. And now parents, you can go ahead and check out if you'd like to, or you can watch this as well. But students, I wanted to share a Devo with you guys as well today. I know as you're getting ready for this trip, I know there's quite a few of you who, if you really are honest with yourself, you struggle about whether or not God is real. I know whether it's because of things you've heard us talk about at Velocity, or suffering you see in the world, or suffering you yourself may be going through, or your friends may be going through, and you sit back and you think, if God is real, if God is all-loving and all-powerful, how could he let this happen? He must either be not as caring as Mark and Jay talk about in Rosie, or he must be not as powerful as those three talk about, because to be all loving and allow the things to happen in this world that he does just doesn't make sense for me. I know you guys are having those thoughts because I have them too, sometimes. The closer I get to him, the less I have those kind of thoughts, because I more understand why God functions the way that he does. I never will fully until I meet him, and probably not even then, because that's what makes him God, and that's what makes me just Mark, you know. But here's one thing I know. When we go to Colorado, you are going to be face to face with a decision. You're going to be face to face with the decision of, am I going to walk away thinking, yeah, this just validates everything I knew to be true. There must not be a God. He must not be real. Or are you going to walk away thinking, man, I've heard and seen some stories about how God has changed people's lives and how great his love is for people, for me. And in the face of all of that, how can I do anything but trust him and follow him? This is going to be a pivotal moment in your lives. And I know you guys may think it sounds like I'm overhyping this or making too big of a deal of it, but this is what happens at these kind of conferences, these kind of events. You are going to become face to face with God, and you're going to have a moment where you can either run towards him or run away from him. Those are your only choices, because God is real. He is there. Your choice is going to be, are you going to trust him and run to him, or try to run away from him? I think about, when I'm thinking about events like this, I think about the life of Moses. Because Moses, God had to relentlessly pursue him. That'll be one of our themes at FMYC, about how God relentlessly pursues us. God had to relentlessly pursue Moses. You all know one of my favorite songs, and I tell you guys this all the time. I'll probably blast it at some point on the bus on the way home from FMYC. Is this song called Firstborn by Good Luck Varsity. Sorry, my nose is itchy, allergies. But in this song, Firstborn, the opening lines of the song is, I've said it more than 1,000 times, I'm not the man who should speak these lines. I'm not eloquent or magnificent. But then it changes a little bit, and the line in the song says, but you made a snake from a wooden club. You ran the Nile thick with blood at the command of a simple man, a coward just like me. You see, when he calls Moses a coward, he's referring to when God first tried to call Moses. You guys may have already had this kind of experience like Moses did. See, God came to him and said, I'm going to use you to lead an entire nation of people out of slavery. Like, to literally go in to where all of the Israelites were in slavery. If they were born an Israelite, they were born into slavery. And God comes to Moses, who's basically like me or like you, just a simple person, no real special gifts, no real anything, just a plain old dude. And God says, I'm going to use you to literally march my people out of Israel. And Moses is like, no, that ain't me. I don't even know, God, because my life is simple now. He was a farmer at this point. Everything was just fine. And he's like, I don't really want to do that, But God wouldn't let go. And eventually Moses comes face to face with God in the shape of this burning bush. You all have heard the story. You're seeing it in Prince of Egypt or something, or in the Ten Commandments, where this bush is on fire, but it's not burning up. And God literally speaks to Moses. This week in Colorado, I don't know if God's going to literally speak to you like he did with Moses. I don't know if you're going to see any bushes on fire. But I guarantee you guys are going to hear from God this week. You're going to hear from him. You're going to face him. And you're going to face a decision about, are you going to run to God's love, or are you going to run away from it? So maybe that's your question you need to be thinking about as we get ready for FMYC. Maybe it's simply you need to ask yourself, God, I need you to reveal to me if you're real or not. Because I know a lot of you are on the fence about that. I know a lot of you are thinking, yeah, Christianity sounds cool if it actually was real. So maybe your question for God simply this week is you need to know whether he's real or not. This spot in the church you guys may not know, or you may never been here before. It's called our prayer chapel. I don't even know if you guys are here. It's open all day, every day, as long as the doors are unlocked. And it's just a little room kind of decorated simply with a cross made out of nails and some inscriptions on the wall and things like that. I like coming in this room sometimes because it's quiet, Upstairs in the office, we work in cubicles. There's always Nerf darts flying around, people hollering at each other, yelling back and forth and things like that. It's really noisy. But in here, it's just quiet. And it's in here, there's nothing special or sacred about this room other than the fact that when you're able to get away from all the noise of the world, that's when you can hear God's voice best. At FMYC, it's not literally going to be quiet all the time. It's going to be pretty noisy. We're bringing in a massive sound system, so it's going to be real noisy. But it's going to be quiet in the sense that everything else happening in your life is just going to seem to kind of be muted for a week. It's going to kind of seem to just be drowned out by the love of God for an entire week. And the choice is going to be up to you of, in that quietness, figurative quietness, are you going to listen to God's voice? Are you going to pursue him? Are you going to trust him? Or are you just going to try and drum up noise of your own to drown out his voice in your life? I'm really looking forward to this week with you guys. I really think you guys are going to have questions answered about your thoughts about God. I think you're going to have questions answered about your faith. And that's my prayer for all of you. God's word never fails. And it won't fail you this week either. I love you guys. I'm praying for you already. And I'll get another one of these videos out to you tomorrow with just a little more encouragement. I don't know if any of you are going to watch these or if you'll care about them. But I hope you do. I hope you're preparing your heart the same way I'm trying to hear from God this week in Colorado, in one of the most beautiful places in the world. Get pumped, and we'll see you guys Sunday. Bye-bye.